Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about one of the funniest and most awkward Phoebe moments from Friends. This is the scene where Phoebe tries acting in a hospital drama, but even the simplest task becomes complete chaos. Now honestly, this moment perfectly shows why Phoebe is such a legendary sitcom character. She overthinks everything, gets nervous instantly, and somehow turns a tiny acting role into a disaster. At the same time, Joey becomes super serious and starts acting like a professional Hollywood coach. That combination makes the scene absolutely hilarious. Even years later, Friends fans still remember this moment because it feels so natural and relatable. So today, we're going to review this entire funny scene step by step and talk about why fans still love it so much. Let's get started. The scene begins with the director explaining the role to Phoebe very carefully. He tells her, take the tray, stand on the yellow mark, move on action, walk to the table, stop on the blue mark, and put the tray down. That's literally the whole job. It sounds extremely simple, but Phoebe immediately starts looking nervous. You can see her trying to remember every tiny instruction perfectly. The funniest part is how serious the director sounds while explaining such a basic task. Phoebe keeps thinking, okay, but now what? And immediately the awkward energy begins. This moment is funny because everybody watching knows the task is easy, but Phoebe behaves like she's about to perform dangerous surgery. That uncomfortable pressure creates perfect comedy. Then the director says, action, and instantly Phoebe freezes. She becomes nervous, apologizes repeatedly, and completely loses confidence. The crew members start getting annoyed while Phoebe becomes even more stressed. What makes this scene so funny is how realistic it feels. Sometimes when people watch us, even easy things suddenly become difficult. Phoebe starts overthinking every movement. Should she walk slower? Should she stop earlier? Should she hold the tray differently? Her panic keeps growing with every failed attempt. Meanwhile, the entire room becomes silent and awkward. That second-hand embarrassment is exactly what makes Friends comedy so powerful. The scene feels natural instead of forced. After watching Phoebe struggle again and again, Joey decides to help her. At first, he tries to calm her down by saying, "Don't worry about it." But Phoebe is still terrified. Then Joey suddenly transforms into a serious acting teacher. He starts talking like this tiny hospital role is the biggest movie scene in Hollywood history. That's what makes Joey so funny. He always treats acting with extreme seriousness, even when the role itself is ridiculous. Phoebe looks completely confused while Joey keeps giving dramatic advice. Their friendship chemistry is amazing in this moment because Joey genuinely wants her to succeed, even though his methods are absolutely crazy. Then Joey delivers one of the funniest speeches in the episode. He tells Phoebe, "You are not Phoebe, you are Nurse with Tray." Suddenly, Joey creates an entire character identity for someone carrying a tray across a room. He says, "Nurse with Tray doesn't know Joey. She doesn't have time for friends." The way Joey speaks so seriously makes the scene unforgettable. He acts like Phoebe needs deep emotional motivation just to walk across the set. And honestly, Joey fully believes what he's saying. That confidence is what makes the comedy work perfectly. Then Joey delivers one of the funniest speeches in the episode. He tells Phoebe, "You are not Phoebe. You are Nurse with Tray." Suddenly, Joey creates an entire character identity for someone carrying a tray across a room. He says, "Nurse with Tray doesn't know Joey. She doesn't have time for friends." The way Joey speaks so seriously makes the scene unforgettable. He acts like Phoebe needs deep emotional motivation just to walk across the set. And honestly, Joey fully believes what he's saying. That confidence is what makes the comedy work perfectly. Then Joey makes the situation even more dramatic. He tells Phoebe, "If you don't deliver that tray, people die." Now suddenly this tiny acting role becomes life or death drama. Phoebe starts taking everything super seriously. Then Joey says, "Who dies? Man with eye patch." That random line is absolutely hilarious because it sounds so unnecessary and specific. Nobody even knows who Man with Eye Patch is. But Joey says it with total confidence, like the audience should care deeply about him. This moment perfectly shows Joey's dramatic personality and why his scenes with Phoebe are always comedy gold. After Joey's emotional acting speech, Phoebe finally starts feeling confident. She grabs the tray carefully and prepares for another take. You can still see nervousness in her face, but now she looks determined to succeed. The funny thing is that everybody around her starts acting serious too, like this is some intense action movie moment. Even the music and silence in the scene make it feel dramatic. But at the center of everything, Phoebe is still just carrying a tray. That contrast between simple reality and dramatic emotion is what makes the scene so entertaining. Finally, after multiple failed attempts, Phoebe completes the scene correctly. She walks confidently, reaches the table, and places the tray down perfectly. And suddenly she explodes with excitement. She screams, "Yes, I did it! I nailed it!" Her reaction is way bigger than the actual achievement. And that's exactly why it's funny. Everybody else is still acting professionally, while Phoebe celebrates like she just won an Oscar award. Then someone reminds her, the rest of the scene, which makes the moment even funnier because she forgot the scene wasn't finished yet. Fans still love this scene because it combines everything great about Friends. Awkward comedy, strong friendship chemistry, funny dialogue, and completely unnecessary drama. Phoebe's nervous energy feels relatable, while Joey's overconfidence creates chaos. Together, they turn a simple hospital scene into one of the funniest moments in the show. Even today, clips from this episode still go viral online because the humor feels timeless. The comedy doesn't depend on special effects or complicated jokes. It's all about the characters reacting naturally. One reason Phoebe became such an iconic character is because she was completely unpredictable. You never knew what she would say or do next. Unlike the other Friends characters, Phoebe lived in her own strange little world. That weird energy made ordinary scenes feel fresh and exciting. Even when she failed at something, fans still loved watching her because she stayed honest and confident in her own unique way. This acting scene perfectly captures Phoebe's personality: awkward, chaotic, emotional, and incredibly funny. So overall, this was one of the funniest Phoebe moments in Friends history. The nervous acting, Joey's dramatic coaching, the random man with eye patch line, and Phoebe celebrating after carrying a tray, everything about this scene is comedy perfection. It perfectly shows why Friends became one of the most loved sitcoms ever made. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your favorite Phoebe moment below. And tell me honestly, would you survive Joey's acting class? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. After Phoebe finally succeeds with the tray scene, she gets so excited that she completely forgets there's still more acting left to do. She screams, "Yes, I did it! I nailed it!" Meanwhile, everyone on set just stands there silently. Then someone says, "The rest of the scene," and instantly Phoebe's happiness disappears. That moment is hilarious because it feels exactly like real life. Sometimes we celebrate too early before finishing the job. Phoebe honestly thought her acting career had officially begun after walking 5 steps with a tray. What makes this scene even better is Joey looking proud like his acting advice actually saved Hollywood. The entire situation becomes funnier because everybody treats this tiny role with maximum seriousness. And honestly, that overreaction is exactly why Friends comedy still works today. One of Joey's funniest personality traits is how seriously he takes acting. Even if the role is tiny, Joey behaves like it's the most important performance in cinema history. In this scene, he acts like Phoebe is preparing for an Oscar-winning movie instead of carrying medical equipment across a room. He gives emotional speeches, creates fake backstories, and motivates Phoebe like a military commander. The funniest part is that Joey genuinely believes his advice is genius. Phoebe looks confused most of the time, but Joey stays completely confident. That confidence makes every line 10 times funnier. And honestly, without Joey's dramatic acting energy, this scene would not be nearly as entertaining. Phoebe has a special talent for making normal situations awkward in the funniest possible way. Even when she tries acting professional, her nervous energy creates total chaos. You can see her thinking too hard about every movement: how to walk, where to stop, how to hold the tray, and because she overthinks everything, she keeps failing repeatedly. That awkward realism is what makes the comedy feel natural instead of fake. Everybody watching can relate to moments like this. Sometimes pressure makes simple tasks feel impossible. Phoebe perfectly captures that feeling while still staying funny and lovable. That's why fans connected with her characters so much. Phoebe and Joey are one of the funniest duos in Friends because both characters live inside their own strange worlds. Joey is overly confident. Phoebe is completely unpredictable. When they work together, chaos always happens. In this acting scene, Joey becomes the dramatic teacher while Phoebe becomes the nervous student. But somehow their weird personalities balance perfectly. Joey genuinely wants Phoebe to succeed, and Phoebe actually trusts his ridiculous advice. That friendship chemistry makes their scenes feel warm and funny at the same time. Even when everything goes wrong, you can still feel how much they care about each other. That emotional connection made Friends special.